I thought Predators was decent from what I remember.
It's decent, but it's not great. I mean, it's better than Predator 2.
And better than the Alien versus Predators, both of them.
Yeah, those are garbage, too. Predator 2 is okay.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, the original Predator is a classic. And it's going to be very hard to top that. Yeah. And speaking of Alien, you know, as great as Alien is, it's shocking at how amazing Aliens, the sequel, is. Because I think that they're both equally great, and I know that each kind of has its detractors.
Uh-huh.
You know, saying, "Oh no, this one is better," or "This one is better." But I think they're both, you know, like four-star flicks.
Yeah, agreed. What else? Oh yeah, the new Wonder Woman 1984 is finally coming out on Christmas. So I wanted to give that a shout out. Or that is news this week. When our episode comes out, you'll be able to watch the new.
You should be able to watch it.
Yeah,
right?
The new Wonder Woman on HBO Max. If you have the HBO package through your cable provider, a lot of people don't know, but you have HBO Max for free. So just set up your account and watch the flick. I think right now HBO Max is doing this thing where you can watch the first scene of the new film. I think it's like 4 minutes long, so you can preview what it's like. And I hope it's a good film after waiting so long.
And that movie had kind of a weird way of finally getting at least seen, because it's been delayed multiple times.
Yeah.
Not just because of the pandemic, but it was supposed to be like a Thanksgiving movie last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And for some reason, Warner Brothers bumped it. I think that they were trying to get off of the holidays and go into summer, because it would definitely play better in summer. And, you know, no one expected a worldwide pandemic. So it got bumped multiple times throughout the summer of this year. And then I think into the early fall, and then finally just settled for HBO Max, which it's going to get seen. I know that it's going to open up in theaters somewhere, wherever theaters are open. Being in Southern California, that's not here.
As far as I know, I think the UK, it's already in cinemas over there, and because I've seen multiple reviews of the film, even though I've been trying to stay away from any spoilers and everything, but they've already seen it.
Yeah, because the international community had their shit together, unlike this country, which fucked everything up. But yeah, it's going to open internationally. I think it's probably opening in some theaters around the States that might be open still, but with as bad as things are, I don't know what's open where, and I probably in good conscience couldn't recommend going, even if it was open.
Yeah.
But it's going to get seen. I guess that's a win for Warner Brothers. I don't know how the plan is to make the budget back, though, and the marketing costs. Yeah. I guess they're trying to rely on subscriptions to HBO Max, but even in the end, I mean, is it really going to make the money that it should have?
Especially because the movie is only going to be available to watch on HBO Max for, I think, 30 days, and then it'll go to VOD. So, I mean, there's always the money that they'll make through there, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it'll make some money. It probably won't be making the equivalent of, 200, 300 million.
Yeah. I think I heard that Patty Jenkins had to fight to even just get a gal paid what she was supposed to be paid.
That's interesting, because that's going to lead into something when we talk about Batman Returns. Is, this is a big reason why your movie works. This is the star of your film. You need to make sure that they're compensated fairly for, the amount of money that you're going to make off of this character, this performance. Well, I hope that you got it.
I'm pretty sure they did. And
Okay.
did you know that Patty's like a big backer of them, like one of the only directors that's actually for what's happening with them putting the movies digitally first?
I think I had seen that. That's a big discussion that I think we're gonna wander into next week. But at this point in time, the only way your movie's going to be seen is that way.
Yeah.
For the near future, I don't think we're going to be seeing major movies in theaters for a number of months still.
And now, with the way that things are looking, maybe not till 2022, even though that's sad to hear. But, realistically, I don't know. I feel like it's at least going to be a half a year before anything even remotely starts to be put in motion, of normality.
I think summer is probably a good estimate right now. I think the spring might be a little too early still. But the summer, hopefully, enough will have happened by the summertime that might be a possibility. But who knows? Who knows? 9 months ago they were saying that, by the fall everything would be okay. And it was so much worse.
This week.
My weekly recommendations, I have 2 for you. One of them is maybe a cliche, maybe it's tradition. It is Christmas time. This is a Christmas movie, and it's A Wonderful Life, which I had never seen, believe it or not. I knew it obviously from pop culture, and I knew its place in film history, but had never actually watched the entire movie. I knew basically the storyline, I knew the ending and everything, but I decided that this year, I've never seen it all the way through. I've only caught pieces and parts, like whenever they air it, during the holidays. And just like I said, I knew it through pop culture, but I sat down and watched it, and it's a really good movie. I can see why it became a classic. Even though I knew what was going to happen, I knew, how it ended, I was actually caught off guard by how emotional the finale of the movie made me. And maybe it was because that I finally had the context of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just, because 2020 had been such a monumentally shitty year that this uplifting and hopeful finale really touched me. But it's a really good movie. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's probably very easy to find during the holidays. But it's also like the last act especially is fairly dark for a movie made during Hollywood's golden age. It's got a pretty dark final act. So I was surprised, but it's really good. It's a really good movie.
Is that how'd you watch it?
I watched it on Amazon. It's free on Amazon Prime. I think you do have your choice if you're a heathen, if you want to watch it in color. But stick with the black and white because it's beautiful in black and white, as is everything.
Did you say if you're a heathen?
If you're a heathen and you want to watch the colorized version of it. But I believe both versions are available on Amazon.
Awesome. I'll have to give that a watch before the the holidays are over.
give it a watch. It's a good movie. Jimmy Stewart is awesome. He's great as always, and it's a really good movie, and I recommend it. Like I said, I was surprised by how emotional it made me. And the second one I have is a documentary, and I never asked you if you had watched this, but the De Palma documentary.
No.
Have you watched that?
I don't think so. I don't believe so.
Check it out. It's basically just Brian De Palma, who, for those who don't know, is a director. It's basically just him talking about all of his movies. And it was pretty fascinating because he's a fascinating director. I've always been a fan, but he's a very divisive director.
Yeah, he's got some misses in there for sure.
He's got some misses. He's always kind of had to fight off the label of him being a Hitchcock ripoff, because a lot of his earlier films and a lot of his thriller movies took a lot of their cues from Hitchcock because he was a big fan of Hitchcock. He's also kind of had to fight off the label of being misogynistic, because in a handful of his movies there's a lot of violence towards women, which is crazy because a lot of his movies are pretty violent towards men, like even more so. But he always had this stigma of being a misogynistic director because some women get killed in pretty awful ways in a few cases in his movies. But I mean, movies like Scarface or The Untouchables are pretty fucking violent, and that's all guys getting shot up and killed in pretty brutal ways, as in the case of Scarface. He's
an equal opportunity murderer within films.
Yeah, and they definitely get into that. But it's just fascinating watching him go through his entire filmography and just talk about how he made it or what his purpose behind making the movie was, all kinds of random, behind the scenes production stories. It was really fascinating. I highly recommend it to anyone who is interested in films or is a big fan of De Palma. And I think...
Did you say where we can watch that or stream it, or is it available?
Let's see. I think I watched it on Amazon, but I rented it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was free. I don't think it's free. At the time I watched it, it wasn't. I rented it, but I'm happy to spend a few bucks to watch something I really wanted to watch, and that was something that I'd been meaning to see for a long time and just had never gotten around to it.
Okay.
But it was pretty fascinating. I highly recommend it. And there's probably a handful of De Palma films that I would like to cover on this podcast.
I'm not sure if I don't think we've touched anything of De Palma yet as a main focus that I can remember. I know we've wrecked several of his pieces, but I don't think we've talked in depth as of yet.
Nope. Well, save the few for me.
I'd love to talk shit on the Black Dahlia. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, the Black Dahlia. He has a fascinating story, and my opinion, he hasn't made a good movie since the first Mission Impossible. And that was, almost 25 years ago now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the last handful of movies that he made are not great. Some of them are downright terrible. And the Black Dahlia is one that's really bad.
Oh, man.
Did you ever see Femme Fatale?
Femme Fatale with Antonio Banderas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a good movie, but I don't think that Banderas is very good in it.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebecca Romijn is okay, but I don't think that she's that strong of an actress.
Mm-hmm.
But it's